Thom Hartmann here with you. Gary, listening to KABQ in Albuquerque. Gary, you were telling a story, and we hit the break, and I don't have any control over those. They happen when they happen, and so
well, you're doing a good job.
I wanted to hear the rest of your story. So why don't you just reboot the whole thing, okay?
Well, I'm driving down the street with a buddy. It's about 3 a.m. in the morning. We
Los
just
Angeles.
had a good time at a party. Los Angeles, California, in the middle of the city. And we're just seeing a black man being beat to death with a muffler by 2 cops. And we're like, whoa, what's going on? And I hit the brakes. We stop. We're looking over, see these 2 cops over there. We're looking over our right shoulders. And then within seconds, there was a gun underneath my left earlobe, and I could feel the cold steel and hear it's like it was gun smoke or something. I could hear the trickle, the clip of the gun.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what? So I didn't move my head, but I looked into the mirror, and it was a Los Angeles cop. All we did was stop and look to see what was going on.
Yeah.
And then I looked to my right, and I had my passenger in the right seat, and it was my friend Herman. And he had a gun straight to his frontal lobe by another cop. And so I just froze.
Yeah.
And I was about this kid's age. I'm 54 now, 55. I was 18. And all we were doing was driving and just stopped when we saw this, basically a crime being committed.
Yeah.
And so the cop who had the gun right underneath my left lobe just said to me, he used the N-word, better get the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. And I just thought to myself, no, you saw 3 of us die.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't help that guy who was getting beat by the muffler. He looked like he may have already been dead.
Yeah.
And so I hit the brakes, took off.
Yeah.
But my parents did teach me as I grew up that any time you were confronted by the kind of man like Zimmerman, that the first thing you do, and I'm a pretty big guy, I slam dunk in the old days. Mm-hmm. I would, my parents told me, put your hands in the air when somebody is intent on harming you. That's the story, man.
This is the thing that Gary, that I think most white parents, many white parents before the Trayvon Martin shooting, never realized is that African American parents have to have this conversation with their children that white parents not only don't ever have to have, but never even imagined that anybody else had to have. And every person that I know who's African American has, when this topic comes up, has told me stories out of their childhood, or people my age told me about the story that they had to tell their kids. And if you could speak to that, what you were told by your parents, or what you have said to your children.
They told me to always, put my hands in the air, and I always did, and I had to do it. And I traveled the world, and I had to do it in 1973 in Beverly Hills. I had to do it in 1981 in Denmark. I had to do it again in 1986 in Spain, Madrid, Spain. Then I had to do it in West Berlin when the wall was still up, also in 1986. And then now I'm in Albuquerque. I've had to do it in 2008. So it's been like about 7 times that I experienced with this kid who got murdered experience. And each and every time I did what my mom, my dad told me to do. Put your hands in the air and surrender.
Yeah. But what Trayvon did was he ran away.
Twice it was with cops.
Yeah.
And there was one time when all of a sudden there were like 3 cops. All I was doing was walking to a friend's house in Beverly Hills, and cops had the guns on. The cop had a gun on me. All I was just walking down the street, hadn't done nothing.
Yeah.
I put my hands in the air, and then 3 or 4 other cops drove up and said, "Put your hands down." Yeah. I just said, "No, sir."
Yeah.
You're gonna shoot me. You're gonna do it with my hands up.
Yeah.
At least when I fall over, my hands hopefully will still be up.
Yeah, there'll be some record of it. But this
it's a real problem.
And this is and Trayvon, instead of stopping and putting his hands up, he said, "I'm going to walk away from this guy." And George Zimmerman followed him for apparently a couple of blocks. You know, he's talking to the police through the whole thing. And man, it's a tough one. Gary, thank you.
He should be arrested. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you for the call. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I do appreciate it.